Ho, 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 ho! Who you callin' a hoe? Scary Christmas, boys and ghouls. Say, did you hear the one about the manicurist who didn't like working at the North Pole? Yes, all day she had to deal with Sandy Claus. Get it? Sandy Claus? Ho, 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 ho. Did you hear about the elf who didn't want to give away any of his toys? If you ask me, he was behaving rather elfishly. I heard that this year Santa has to get all new reindeer. Apparently last year he slayed them all. Do you know why Miss Kitty Litter ATX is like a doll at Christmas? Because she only gets laid once a year, and when she does, it's under a tree by a strange man. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh. Yeah, that's a little too close to the truth. Howdy, boys and girls, it's Miss Kitty Litter ATX, and I'm welcoming you, yes you, to another episode of the New Mew Review. And this time we're talking about Dragula, Season 4, Episode 7. Look how far we've come. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this episode. Are you excited? I stayed up half the night to watch the darn thing, and yeah, it was a very interesting episode, I will say that. Before we get started on that, I would like to remind y'all, if you like what I'm putting out there, please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, was that subtle enough? Okay, good, done. Alrighty, so today, obviously, my look is inspired by the holidays. I'm kind of doing this whole thing. I think I'm having some menstrual Krampus going on. I don't know what's happening here. But anyways, let's get into this episode. As we started our episode, we got a recap, of course, of last week's episode when Jade Jolie was sent home. And there was some conversation about that and whatnot. We also had a skip from the bouletbrothers, and what can I say about it? The theme this week was the Exorcisters, okay? So it was like a whole exorcist kind of tease. But what we had was what I could only refer to as the very bare-chested Bishop of Barton Wells. I don't know, there was this furry priest standing there, and he's reading the Bible. All of a sudden the Boulet brothers come in and I guess seduce him of sorts, and he falls on the floor, and leaves the Bible and the rosary. He crouches down on all fours, and I don't know if he was turning into a werebear or what was going on. It looked like something that the Boulet brothers had clipped out of their OnlyFans account. I don't know, but I was there for it. I kind of wanted to see the guy tied to a bed and getting the demons exorcised out of him. I volunteer. We love our furry folk here at Casa Torquemada. At any rate, moving right along from that, we went into the workroom, boudoir, as it were. Y'all know I watch several shows, and they call them by different names. Call it what you like, but it's where they all get together and create. There was some conversations going. Once again, the tone seemed rather positive and friendly. Thank God, because just so overall the drama. The people were called into the stage area, or whatever they call it, and the Boulet brothers told them that their challenge this week was going to be a two-part. Not only were they going to get to meet drag legend Peaches Christ, but it was going to be, first of all, they had to do an eyebrow challenge where they had to paint eyebrows to look like Peaches Christ. Well, here's the thing. I'm sitting there watching this, and Peaches Christ walks in, and I'm already just gagged because, like I said, drag royalty. If you haven't heard of her, but she hosts several shows in San Francisco. She does live theater and all this. She's definitely a performance artist of the first caliber. So having her look over your shoulder while you're trying to create her classic signature eyebrows, that to me would be more scary than having roaches dumped on you for this drag performer. That would be like you trying to sing in front of having Cher looking over your shoulder or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking, but I think that they all kind of rose to the challenge in their own way. Ironically, it was La Zavaleta who ended up winning this particular challenge, and given her usual chola eyebrows, I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, she did what the assignment asked for. Also, they were going to be meeting with a scriptwriter, and there was going to be a little skit that they were all going to perform in. Now, I don't know how many of y'all know this, but the acting challenges are very difficult, and at times they can be anywhere from wildly entertaining to excruciating to watch. I gotta tell you, when I was on Camp Wanakiki, we all had a hard time with the acting challenge. It's just difficult. There's memory, there's having to learn your lines, there's having to keep a consistent character going. All of that factors in, and to be entertaining at the same time. So that's a lot of plates to juggle or whatnot. And some were a little more successful at it than others. I will have to say in honesty that a lot of these acting challenges, it depends on the quality of the script that was presented. And how was the quality of this particular script? Well, a lot of the acting in these challenges depends on the quality of the script that they are given. So anyways, they're given a script, no tea, no shade, and it's of course based on an Exorcist thing. Since La Zavaleta won the challenge, she was able to cast the roles, and Hoso Teratoma, of course, she ended up being the Linda Blair type of character. Reagan, I started to say Megan, but that's somebody else entirely. Anyways, so she was Reagan. Dolly and Saint were cast as the two, I guess, lesbian mothers. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. La Zabaleta cast themselves as the priest, and cast Sigourney Beaver as the assistant to the priest. So the guest judges this week, I need to say, can't remember their names off the top of my head. Both of them were in the acting field, and both of them, in a rare thing for Dragula, I suppose, had on more makeup than most of the contestants. No tea, no shade, but seriously though, they was painted down. I just gotta say it. Okay. Anyways, moving right along, we go into this skit. And the skit was interesting, to say the least. Cast out them demons. Cast out them demons, kidding. Alright, so yeah, it was a skit, and I thought that Hoso did really well. Obviously, it's kind of a large role, and I thought that, because it was a camp acting challenge, I thought that they kind of hammed it up, and I liked it. I did laugh quite a few times during their performance. I also laughed at Sigourney Beaver, who I thought reminded me a lot of like Marty Feldman or Madeline Kahn, and there was a whole kind of young Frankenstein Igor thing going on. Igor. Yeah, that character. Want a hump? What hump? I don't have a hump. Anyways, yeah, so it was that kind of thing. I thought it was very good. The big eyes, the posturing, everything was just there for me. Skulking about. I liked it. I laughed a lot. Also, I did like La Zavaleta. La Zavaleta did this kind of effeminate priest. Was told to tone it down a bit, and I know we're not supposed to compare drag performers, but I do have to say that low-key, they kind of reminded me a little bit of Angina from Drag Race, just the look. But as far as the performance, I thought it was really quite funny and fun. Even the scaled down version, I could imagine, would have been like at 110. Saint and Dolly, I have to be honest and say I don't know if it's because of the way that it was written or the fact that they were told to tone down their performances, but they both came across a little flat for me. And that's not to say that they were terrible. It just, my focus wasn't really on them the whole time because the other people were just taking all the oxygen out of the room with their performances, so that left Dolly and Saint to be kind of fading into the background somewhat for me. So then going on from that, we had the runway, and they all had to do some kind of a demon look. And first out we had Dolly. Dolly came out and was a demon, you know. There was prosthetics going on. There was this kind of a red gown. I think the critique was that yes, we've seen this look before from Dolly, but I was still living for it. I was pretty gagged by it. Next up, we had Sigourney. And when Sigourney first walked out, I mean, she's like eating babies, and she's this killer mother, Rosemary's Baby thing going on. There was just all kinds of stuff happening. There was a little bit of burlesque, and the critiques were that the outfit was quite simple, which it was. I'm not going to lie. There were some scraps of fabric, and I was racking my brain trying to think of who Sigourney reminds me of. And it came to me, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of an artist called Frank Frazetta, but he did Vampirella, and her silhouette and her character quite reminds me of like a Frank Frazetta, either Vampirella or one of those kind of characters that he does. It's the hourglass figure. It's kind of on the spooky side, and I was glad to see, speaking of which, that this week she did bring a darker side. It wasn't just glamour. There was a little bit of spookiness to it. Yes, I would have liked the outfit to have been more detailed in comparison to the others, but it wasn't terrible. I quite liked the look. Moving right along, we had Zavaleta. And Zavaleta came out, and then this was one of those ones where when she first came out, I was like, ooh. And then afterwards, I was kind of like, oh. And I felt bad for her because I think what happened was she was kind of this bat-winged demon creature, and I've heard it said that the body part of her costume looked very fetishy, like something you could get at a fetish store maybe. But the silhouette with the wings and all, I was just gagged when she walked out on stage. I said, wow. But then, I don't want to say shady edits, but maybe shady edits. The majority of her stage time during the film was just her struggling with this large pair of wings, which apparently had broken off, and she fell to the floor and then had just decided that she was just going to go on with the performance, which I applaud her, because when those prop malfunctions occur, you just have to keep going with it, whether, you know, no matter what's going on, you stay in character and you commit to it. And I think she did that. I actually liked the look from the get-go and was sorry that it didn't go the way that it planned. I also have to say that Sigourney Beaver also had some prop malfunctions, because the babies that she was eating, they were on a rope and it looked like it had gotten tangled at some point. But the camera didn't seem to spend quite as much time on that area as it did on those Zavaletas. So anyways, yeah, it started off as a good look and then kind of fell apart literally on stage. Next up, we had Hoso Teratoma. And Hoso did this kind of a, I don't know, the Devil Wears Prada. It was a demon, but also with a suit on, which was stitched together in patchwork. There was some latex appliances, especially around the eyes, that were just fire. The look was really good and well executed. Was it a gag? Yeah, it was. It was pretty amazing. Next up, we had Saint. And for me, this look was everything. Saint came out and had, it was just a vision in white. She looked like a demonic angel from hell. There was this white wig. The wig was just fire. It was right. It had some red in it that was braided. There was this beautiful dress with the wings, and then she was like, had a bloody heart in her hand and all that. And this look for me was just it. The only problem, the critiques that she got was that once again the presentation was a little too subtle, a little too ghostly and ethereal, and not enough of a, it was more of a step than a stomp. You know, I kind of think if that's Saint's character and she's sticking to her brand, then I'm not mad at her. If she's just not listening to the critiques, that's a whole other thing. But whatever the case, that look was it for me this week. I was like, I need to see anything else. I thought that was the best look on the runway. However, that being said, the judges are taking everything into consideration now, including the smallest flaws and the fact of who they're looking at for the finale. And in this case, it appeared that they were going to have the top two looks being Hoso and Saint. And in the bottom we had Zavaletta, Sigourney, and Dolly. Did I agree with this? You know, I don't know. Some of the looks I thought were better than others, but whatever. It's not my show. Like I said, they're taking a lot of different things into consideration at this point. So, whatever. The challenge this week, it actually made me laugh because for some friends of mine who shall remain nameless and not blameless, this would be just another Saturday night. For these people, it was a challenge. But what they were going to do was this kind of a vacuum seal thing. And I guess that's to preserve their freshness. No, but they were going to get put up against a wall and have these rubber tubes kind of secure them so that they couldn't move. And then there was going to be this latex sheet over them, and all the air was going to be sucked out so that they, you know, like a breath control kind of thing. It should be noted at this point, I did notice that there was a breathing tube, so safety considerations were taken into hand. However, that being said, Miss Kitty has been mummified several times, you know, back in ancient Egypt and then during a couple of BDSM parties. And I know the fear that goes with not only being able to not move of your own volition, you know, having all your control taken away from you, and if you're a control person, that kind of thing is serious, but also breathing issues. It's just like, y'all have been wearing these masks ever since the pandemic started. First of all, thank you. Continue to do so. You know, I'm not going to preach, but yeah, wear your mask if you go out. At any rate, y'all know how it does impede the breathing a little bit. So imagine like a latex thing over your mouth and nose would be pretty frightening. So I thought this challenge was pretty real and pretty hardcore. At the end, when all was said and done, it ended up that we said goodbye to La Zavaleta in a ending to the skit that started at the beginning when supposes, because they took the rosary beads from the start of the episode and strangled her with them. Perhaps cutting off finally some of those biting comments. Just kidding. But I actually, you know, Zavaleta kind of grew on me a little bit at first. I can't forget some of the negativity that they brought to the party. However, they did seem to do a turnaround, and there was some growth maybe and some ownership for some of the things that were said. So I applaud that. And I also think that performance-wise, they're generally a pretty fierce performer. So good, best of luck to you, honey. I think you got a fabulous career ahead of you, as do all the people that have been eliminated thus far. This leaves us with a top four. And I gotta tell y'all, right now, my thinking is I hope they do a double Shantae next week and just keep the 4 because I don't think I could pick. They all have something special to offer, and I just can't see like which one I would get rid of because they're all so amazing in their own ways. And having a diverse 4 like that would be absolutely iconic, and just saying it for what it is, you've got Asian American, you've got a AFAB performer, you've got a African American performer, you've got a monster white performer. You just got everything there. I'm living for every moment of it, and I hope you did they all get to be in the finale. I do. What are your thoughts on this episode? Who do you see? Did you like the elimination? Do you think it was right? Who do you think that Hoso should have won this week? Who do you see in the finale? Let me know your comments in the comment section. Don't forget, once again, like, share, and subscribe. I would like to thank some people this week. First of all, I'd like to thank, and this is a big shout out to my sister up north in Canada, Wilma Fingerdew. Miss Kitty got a surprise package in the mail the other day. We haven't done an official unveiling as of yet, but I love surprises, so I can't wait to see what's in store. That'll be maybe a separate video or whatnot, but if y'all aren't following Wilma Fingerdew, why not? I gotta tell you that she's absolutely fabulous. Her reviews are on point, and she gets some amazing guest stars, such as yourself, myself, whose self? I don't know. I'm going through an identity crisis right now. It's the menstrual Krampus, y'all. But yeah, Wilma's phenomenal, and so thank you from the bottom of my black little heart for that package. I can't wait to see what's in there. I'm just breathless with anticipation. At any rate, who else do I want to thank? Of course, Slipside Creative, the Drag Clubhouse, Hamburger Mary's, Campbell and Kiki, Surratt Leather and Gear, and last but certainly not least, all of you out there. I hope that your holidays are filled with spookiness and good cheer, and big love to you from the ATX. Bye, y'all. Woo. These stockings. I need to get them filled right now. Anybody volunteering? No? Nobody want to fill Miss Kitty's stocking? Alright then. Where's that grinder at?